You've been caught in this cycle for far too long, chasing someone, pouring your heart and soul into them as if they were royalty, hoping for even the smallest fraction of their attention. You've been running tirelessly, and in return, you've gotten nothing but indifference, maybe a few crumbs thrown your way, and yet you continue to give, to hope, thinking that someday they'll realize your worth. Here's the truth. The more you chase, the further they'll pull away. It's like they see you as a puppet, strings pulled tight, always waiting for their next move. And as long as you keep dancing to their tune, they will keep treating you like an afterthought, as if your presence is disposable, like yesterday's news. You might keep telling yourself, one day they'll see me, they'll finally get it. But let's get real for a second. They won't. Not while you're acting like their backup plan, always there when they need you, waiting on standby, just hoping for a little validation. Who gave them this power over you? Who made them the ruler of your happiness? Let me break it to you. It was you. You handed over your peace of mind, your time, your energy, and you allowed them to be the ones to call the shots. And while you're sitting there, waiting, hoping they'll come around, they're out there, living their lives without a second thought about you. Your time, your energy, your effort, it means nothing to them. You've been busting your ass, hoping for their attention, but all they've been doing is showing you how little they care. But you know what? That ends today. This is where it stops. Today, you stop playing the fool. Today, you cut the strings. No more running after them. No more checking your phone, waiting for their call, their text, their recognition. You vanish from their radar. You go quiet, step back, and let them feel the void of your absence. For once, you're going to reclaim the energy you wasted on them. You're going to pour it all back into yourself. And guess what? They'll notice. The moment you stop chasing, they will feel it. Suddenly, the messages stop coming. The easy access to your attention vanishes. And that's when it hits them. They'll scroll through their phone, wondering, where did they go? Why haven't they reached out? They'll start stalking your social media, hoping for a sign, a clue that you're still there. But here's the thing, you're not. You're not sitting there waiting anymore. You're not someone's option. You're not a backup plan, a puppet, or an emotional safety net. You're taking back your power. And that's when they'll realize it will hit them like a punch to the gut. They'll feel the weight of your absence, and they'll start to panic, asking themselves what went wrong. And now, it's on your terms. If they come crawling back, fine. But guess what? It doesn't matter. You'll know your worth. And it isn't tied to their attention. You're not some side piece they can discard and pick up at will. You are the one they lost, and by the time they figure that out, you'll be long gone. Today is the day you take back control. Today is the day you stop following their rules. Today is the day you stop playing the game, cut off the strings, and move in silence. You're done chasing. You're done waiting. You're done being their puppet. The power is yours now. And when they realize it, when they feel the void you've left behind, when they wonder where you went, it will be too late. Now, they're the ones who will start running after you. Now, let's talk about something that's even deeper. If you've been listening closely, you might already be taking the first step. Maybe you've already started pulling back, stepping away from the exhausting chase. Maybe you've gone quiet. Maybe you've stopped texting, stopped reaching out, stopped running after someone who's shown you that they don't care. And you think to yourself, this is it. They'll notice I'm gone. They'll realize they've lost someone special. You expect them to come rushing back, realizing that they've made a huge mistake. But hold on. Let me tell you something important. That's not the way this works. The biggest mistake most people make is thinking that all you have to do is stop chasing. And then they'll come back to you. Like some grand realization will hit them. Wow, what was I thinking? I can't lose them. But let me give you a harsh truth. That's just another trap. If you're still waiting for them to notice your absence, to finally understand your value, you're still giving them power over you. Sure, you've stopped chasing, but have you stopped waiting? Waiting is just another form of submission. You've stopped running after them, but the strings are still there. They're just hidden. Here's the real shift. It's not about waiting for them to come to their senses. It's about deciding that you don't need them to notice at all. This is where the game truly changes. When you stop needing them to notice, when you stop hoping for their attention, that's when you've truly cut the strings. That's when you've shown not just them, but yourself, that you're done being anyone's emotional puppet. This is about reclaiming your life, your peace, your happiness. And once you do that, once you take the power back into your hands, that's when everything shifts. No more hoping for them to come around. No more waiting around for them to recognize your worth. From now on, you're living on your own terms. You don't need them. And that, my friend, is the ultimate game changer. You're not just stepping back. You're creating a tidal wave of momentum in the opposite direction. The goal isn't to punish them with your silence. It's to show them something far more powerful. Your world doesn't revolve around them anymore. Your happiness, your worth. It's not tied to their attention or approval. This is your life. You are the author of your own story, and it's time to take control of the narrative. Say it with me. Feel it deep in your bones. I write my own story. This is no longer about waiting in the shadows, hoping they'll finally notice the script you've been writing for them. No, it's time to tear up that old, tired script and write a new one. One where you are the main character, not someone else's sidekick, not their backup plan. And here's the game-changing truth. The power move isn't about making them miss you. It's about reaching a point where you don't even care whether they do. Imagine this, you out there, thriving in your own life, living with purpose and joy, without needing them for any of it. That's when the sting hits them. But by that time, it won't matter to you. Because the real victory, the true triumph, isn't in their regret. It's in your freedom. This is where everything shifts. No more waiting rooms. No more checking your phone every few minutes, hoping for their message to light up your screen. No more living by someone else's schedule, or waiting for them to decide when you're worthy of their attention. You step back, you stay silent, and you build a life so full and so meaningful that whether they ever return or not is entirely irrelevant. And if they do come running back, it won't be because you were waiting. It'll be because you've created something they can't ignore, something that makes them realize they've lost you. That's the power you regain, and that's exactly what we'll dive into next. But before we go there, if this message is hitting home for you, if you're ready to take control and reclaim your power, go ahead and hit that like button below. Help this video reach more people who need to hear this. Done liking? Thank you. Now let's talk about the first step. Step 1. Stop acting thirsty. When you choose to stop chasing them, you need to really stop. No half measures. No sneaky attempts to worm your way back in. Desperation is like a bad smell. It's obvious, and people can sense it a mile away. The more you act like you need their attention, the more they'll pull away. Why? Because thirst signals weakness, and nothing repels faster than someone who's willing to beg, cling, or throw themselves at someone else's feet. You've got to cut that out immediately. Think about it. When someone knows you're desperate for their validation, they lose respect for you. Why would they value someone who's constantly chasing after them? Thirst turns you into a puppet, a slave to their attention, constantly seeking their approval. And as long as you keep dancing for their approval, you're putting them on a pedestal they haven't earned. They become the prize, and you become the backup plan, the emotional doormat, the one they keep around just in case they ever need someone. But not anymore. That stops today. The first step to killing your thirst is simple. Stop checking your phone like it's a slot machine, waiting for their message to pop up. Quit staring at the last seen status, wondering if they've read your texts. That's puppet behavior, and you're done with that. If they haven't messaged you, that's okay. It doesn't mean they're thinking about you right now. The real problem isn't that they're not texting you. It's that you've let their response control your emotional state. Next, let's talk about cutting out the over-the-top gestures. No more liking every single post they share. No more unnecessary comments. No more sliding into their DMs, hoping for a conversation. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Those late-night "hey up" texts, the "I just wanted to check in" messages, or those casual replies that scream, "please notice me." All of that has to go. When you act thirsty, it sends the message that their attention is more valuable than your dignity. And that, my friend, is a dangerous game to play. Here's the hard truth. Confidence is silent. Thirst, it's loud. When you're truly secure in yourself, you don't need to announce your presence at every turn. You move with quiet assurance, without seeking validation. And people notice that. People respect it. Why? Because nothing is more magnetic than someone who knows their worth and doesn't chase after approval. So if you want to turn the tables, it's time to move in silence. Stop broadcasting your need for attention and let them wonder what's going on with you. Let me drop some wisdom. People don't value what's easily available. The more you throw yourself at them, the more they'll pull away. But when you step back, stop calling, stop texting, stop trying to force your presence into their lives, something amazing happens. A vacuum forms, and in that empty space, they'll start to notice your absence. They'll wonder, wait, why aren't they chasing me anymore? Did I lose them? And that, my friend, is when the power shifts back to you. That's when they'll start feeling the sting of your absence. And that's when you'll know this is no longer about them. This is about you taking back control of your life. This isn't about playing games or trying to manipulate anyone. This is about reclaiming your self-respect and setting firm boundaries. You're not ignoring them to make them miss you. You're doing it because you're done wasting your precious time on someone who doesn't recognize your worth. And once you make that internal shift, once you truly understand that your value doesn't come from their validation, it becomes impossible to fake. They'll feel it, even without you saying a word. Here's another truth. Stop fishing for compliments. Don't post stories, selfies, or pictures just to see if they'll like them or leave a comment. If your purpose for posting on social media is to catch their attention, you've already lost. You should be living your life for you, not for someone else's thumbs up. The moment you stop seeking their approval, you'll feel an enormous weight lift off your shoulders. You'll realize that you never needed their validation in the first place. Let's talk about something powerful. When you pull back and stop trying so hard, a transformation happens. The people around you, especially the ones you've been chasing, start to wonder, why aren't they chasing me anymore? That curiosity pulls them in. They start questioning what changed. And here's the best part. By the time they notice, you won't care. Why? Because you've already taken your power back, and once you've reclaimed it, there's no going back. Say it with me. I don't chase, I attract. Let that be your mantra every time you feel the temptation to text them again. Double text, or anxiously seek validation. When you stop acting thirsty, the energy shifts completely. Suddenly, they're the ones left wondering what changed, what they've lost, and if they can get you back. But here's the kicker. They won't know, because you're not playing that game anymore. This shift isn't just about them. It's about you. It's about choosing yourself every single time. When you stop pouring your energy into people who don't deserve it, you make space for what truly matters. Your growth, your peace, your happiness. And here's where it gets exciting. That glow up you've been working on? It's magnetic. It will attract the right people, the ones who see your worth and don't need to be chased. They'll show up, and more importantly, they'll stay. They won't need constant reassurance. They'll value you for who you are. So, the next time you feel that urge to chase, step back. Don't send that text. Don't scroll through their social media. Don't wait by the phone for a notification. Instead, remind yourself, I am enough, just as I am. Live like you believe it, because here's the truth. The only approval you ever needed was your own. And when you start living like that, you become unstoppable. Now, let's talk about the next level, keeping them in the dark. This is a game changer. Keeping someone in the dark, just enough to leave them intrigued, is one of the most powerful moves you can make. When you cut off their easy access to your thoughts, feelings, and every little detail of your life, you shift the entire dynamic. Human nature craves mystery. Nothing grabs attention like the unknown. And trust me, if you want to make them think about you non-stop, it's time to move in silence. You no longer need to share every moment with them. That door to your inner world, you're locking it, and they'll be more hooked than ever before. Here's the thing. When you're always an open book, always answering their texts, posting every detail of your day, making sure they know exactly where you stand, they get comfortable. They stop wondering about you because there's nothing left to figure out. You've handed over every chapter without them even asking. And when something is too predictable, it loses its allure. But when you pull back and stop broadcasting every little thought, guess what? Curiosity kicks in. They start to ask themselves, why aren't they posting like they used to? Why haven't they texted me back? What's going on with them? And just like that, you're in their head, rent-free. Keeping them in the dark doesn't mean you ghost them completely, though. It's about creating just enough distance to make them curious without cutting them off entirely. You don't need to block them or delete your accounts. In fact, leaving a trail of subtle breadcrumbs can be even more effective. Post just enough to let them know you're out there living your best life, but don't give them everything they want to see. Maybe you share a photo of a beautiful sunset, a fun night with friends, or a mysterious caption like, "Big changes ahead." No explanations, no tags, just little hints that something's different. It's all about unpredictability. If you've always been the one to respond immediately, take your time now. If you used to post every single day, slow down. And if you typically follow a predictable pattern, switch things up. You don't have to announce your every move. Let them wonder. This unpredictability, this shift in energy, is what keeps them engaged. It's mental friction. The need to solve the mystery of what's going on with you. And the best part? You're not playing games. You're simply deciding that you don't need to give them full access to your life anymore. This applies to conversations too. You don't owe anyone an explanation. If they ask what you've been up to, you don't need to give them a play-by-play. Keep it light. A simple, just staying busy. If they ask how you feel, keep it neutral. You're not obligated to share your deepest emotions with someone who hasn't respected you. By keeping them in the dark just enough, you create space for the mystery, for the intrigue, and for them to realize they've lost something valuable. They've lost the privilege of knowing the real you. And that realization? Oh, it's going to sting. But here's the deeper truth. When you stop sharing every part of your life, they'll be left in the dark, and that uncertainty is more powerful than you think. Their mind will fill in the blanks, and most of the time, it'll fill them with worst-case scenarios. What if they've moved on? What if they're seeing someone new? Did I push them away for good? That tension they feel, it's magnetic. They'll start obsessing over every detail, scrolling through your social media, rereading old messages, and overanalyzing each interaction, just trying to figure out what's going on in your world. But here's the kicker. They won't find the answers they're looking for. This is your moment to reclaim your privacy, your peace, and your power. When you start keeping them in the dark, you're no longer living for their validation. You stop feeling the urge to explain yourself, to prove your worth, or to show them what they're missing. Instead, you're living for you. And that, my friend, is the most powerful message you can send. Say it with me. I move in silence. Let that be your mantra. Every time you feel the urge to overshare or post something just to grab their attention, pause and repeat. I move in silence. This isn't about entertaining anyone or satisfying someone's curiosity. It's about protecting your energy, prioritizing your growth, and building a life that doesn't revolve around someone else's opinions. Keeping them in the dark isn't just a tactic. It's a lifestyle shift. It's about recognizing that not everyone deserves access to your thoughts, emotions, or your time. It's about being selective with who gets to experience the real you. And once they realize they no longer have easy access to your world, they'll crave it more than ever. But this time, it's on your terms. So the next time you feel that urge to explain yourself, to post for their attention, or to reach out just to see if they care, stop, breathe, and remind yourself, I move in silence. Let them wonder. Let them sit in the dark, unsure of where they stand. Because here's the truth. The less they know, the more they'll want to figure out. And by the time they catch up, you'll be so far ahead, you won't even care. Now let's talk about something even more empowering. Owning your time like a boss. Owning your time means taking back control over your life. No more waiting by the phone for a text or constantly adjusting your schedule to fit into someone else's. It's time to reclaim your hours, your days, your energy, and direct them toward things that truly matter. Why? Because here's the cold truth. If you don't value your time, no one else will. Think about it. How many times have you let an entire day slip away obsessing over when someone would reply, or dropped everything to hang out when they asked? That's not just wasting time, that's devaluing yourself. Every time you make yourself too available, you send the message that your time is worthless. And guess what? People will treat your time exactly the way you allow them to. If you're always jumping at their call, they'll think you have nothing better going on, and they'll act accordingly. But guess what? That stops now. From here on out, you control the clock. No more canceling plans or sitting by your phone, waiting for someone who barely values your attention. When you treat your time like the invaluable asset it is, others will take notice, and they'll follow your lead. This power shift, it starts with you deciding that your time is non-negotiable. Step 1 to owning your time. Stop responding immediately to every message. Just because someone texts you doesn't mean they're entitled to an instant reply. You're not a 24/7 service. Take your time, focus on what matters to you, and respond when it fits into your schedule. That space you create in your response time sends a powerful message. You are not my top priority. And trust me, people will take notice. They'll start to respect your time more when they realize they don't get instant access to you. Next, fill your time with things that truly matter. Start dedicating your energy to activities that build you up, whether it's crushing your fitness goals, excelling in your career, or investing in relationships with people who genuinely care about you. When your days are packed with things that align with your passions, goals, and purpose, you won't have the mental space to worry about who's texting you back or who isn't. Here's the irony. The moment you stop being available all the time is the moment people start chasing you. But let's take it a step further. Learn to say no, and don't feel guilty about it. Your time is precious, and you don't owe it to anyone who doesn't respect it. If someone wants to hang out last minute, and you've already made plans, whether it's a night to recharge or a personal project you're working on, say no. Don't bend over backward to accommodate people who wouldn't do the same for you. That's not selfish. It's called having boundaries. Owning your time is more than just scheduling. It's about a mindset shift. Stop being reactive. Start being proactive. Instead of waiting for someone to invite you out, make your own plans. Instead of waiting for opportunities to fall into your lap, go create them. When you take control of your time, you stop living in someone else's story and you start writing your own. And here's the beautiful part. When you start living this way, everything changes. You'll feel lighter, freer, because your happiness won't be tied to someone else's schedule. You'll be more productive, more fulfilled, and more present in your own life. And guess what? Others will notice. They'll wonder what changed, why you're suddenly harder to reach, and that curiosity will pull them in. But by the time they realize what's going on, you'll be so focused on your own life that whether they show up or not won't even matter. Say it with me. My time belongs to me. Let that be your new mantra. Every time you feel tempted to drop everything for someone who barely respects your time, remind yourself, my time belongs to me. You're not anyone's backup plan, and you're definitely not here to waste your energy on people who don't see your worth. So take control, move with purpose. Make every hour, every day, every decision count. Because when you own your time like a boss, you stop chasing people, and they start chasing you. And folks, if you're still with me halfway through this video, it means something is resonating deep within you. So, hit that like button and share this message, because someone out there needs to hear it too. Stay with me until the end, because today is the day we make real changes. Stick with me, embrace this challenge, and let's finish what we started together. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. Number 4, demand more, settle for nothing less. It's time to raise the bar. Stop accepting the bare minimum. You've spent far too long waiting, hoping things will magically improve, hoping that people will finally see your worth. Here's the cold, hard truth. People treat you exactly how you let them. If you keep accepting crumbs, they'll keep handing them out. If you want respect, if you want to live a life where you feel valued, where you feel prioritized, you need to stop settling. You need to demand more and refuse to back down. Settling means living in a constant state of compromise. You convince yourself that maybe this is all you're worth. Maybe asking for more is too much, or worse, that you're being ungrateful. But that's a lie. Settling isn't just about what you allow from others. It's about what you believe you deserve. If you keep accepting less than what you're worth, you're teaching yourself that this is all you'll ever get. That ends today. From now on, you raise your standards, and you don't lower them just because someone else can't meet them. Whether it's in relationships, friendships, or opportunities, you deserve nothing less than the best. And it's not your job to shrink yourself to meet someone else's limited expectations. If they can't meet your standards, that's on them, not you. Your job is to protect your peace and keep your worth intact. No compromises, no discounts. Here's the magic. When you stop settling, you create space for better things, better people, and better opportunities to find you. Say it with me. I demand more and settle for nothing less. This is your new standard. Repeat it every time you feel tempted to settle for less than you deserve. You are not here to beg for attention, love, or respect. You are here to attract people and opportunities that match the best version of yourself. And if they can't meet you where you are, keep moving. The only way to win this game is to stop playing small and start demanding what you truly deserve. Now, let's move on to something truly powerful. Staying silent, no explanations needed. There's an incredible power in silence. One of the biggest mistakes people make is constantly feeling the need to explain their every move. Why didn't you reply? Why did you say no? Why are you pulling back? But let me tell you, you don't owe anyone an explanation. The more you explain yourself, the more power you give away. You're opening the door for others to question, judge, or even manipulate your choices. If you want to regain control, you need to master the art of silence. When you explain yourself, you're, in a way, asking for permission. Is this okay? Do you understand why I'm doing this? And when you seek permission, you put yourself in a weaker position, one where others get to decide whether or not your actions are justified. But here's the truth. You don't need anyone's approval. Your choices, your boundaries, your actions, they're yours. No one else has the right to validate them. Silence speaks volumes. It says, I don't need to explain myself to anyone. It shows confidence in your decisions and uncaring toward how others interpret them. Think about this. Someone asks you why you didn't respond right away, and instead of scrambling to explain yourself, you simply say, I was busy. No details, no over-explanation, just a confident, unbothered response. Or maybe you say no to an invitation, but instead of explaining your reason, you simply say, I won't make it. That silence sends a message loud and clear. My decisions belong to me, and I'm not seeking anyone's validation. Staying silent is not about being rude or dismissive. It's about setting boundaries and protecting your energy. Every time you feel the need to explain yourself, you give away a little piece of that energy to someone else. You open yourself up for judgment, questioning, or criticism. But when you remain silent, you hold on to that energy for yourself. Say it with me. I move in silence, no explanations needed. This is your new mantra. Every time you feel tempted to justify your choices, remind yourself, you are not responsible for managing how others feel about your decisions. If someone can't respect your choices without an explanation, that's their issue, not yours. The truth is, those who truly respect you won't need an explanation. They'll understand that your time, energy, and boundaries are yours to manage. And the ones who demand explanations? They're trying to control you. Silence is how you reclaim that control. It's how you show the world and yourself that your choices stand strong on their own. So, the next time someone pushes for an explanation, resist the urge. Let your silence speak for you. In a world full of noise, silence is the most powerful statement you can make. And finally, glow up and let them wonder. It's time to glow up, folks, and let them sit in the dark, wondering what hit them. But this isn't just about looking good on the outside. This is a complete transformation, mentally, physically, and emotionally. A glow up means stepping into your best self for you, not for them, The real flex here isn't about making someone jealous or winning them back. No, the real flex is becoming someone so radiant, so content, so unstoppable that whether they notice or not won't matter. But trust me, they will notice. And when they do, they won't know what to make of the new you. A true glow-up starts from within. It's not about revenge or making anyone regret their decisions. It's about reclaiming your life and stepping into the person you were always meant to be. It's about breaking free from the version of yourself that lived in someone else's shadow, constantly seeking validation. You were never built to shrink down to fit in someone else's world. It's time to rise, not for them, but for you. The first step to unlocking your true potential. Level up your habits. Start taking care of yourself like you truly mean it. Hit the gym, fuel your body with nutritious foods, get quality sleep, and show your body the respect it deserves. But here's the key. Don't do it for the likes. Don't do it for the attention. Do it because you deserve to feel strong, healthy, and unstoppable. When you feel good in your own skin, that confidence will radiate from within. And trust me, people will notice, whether you post about it or not. It's not about the external validation. It's about creating an inner glow that reflects the true power you're building. Now, let's talk about personal growth. Pick up that skill you've always wanted to master. Whether it's a new language, learning how to play an instrument, or diving deeper into your career with laser focus, start now. Surround yourself with people who inspire you, who lift you higher, not those who weigh you down. Every time you invest in yourself, whether it's learning something new, working on your goals, or simply prioritizing your own happiness, you send a powerful message to the world. I am more than enough, and I am my own priority. You're no longer waiting for someone else to see your worth, because you already know it. And here's the fun part. While you're out there glowing up, others will start to notice the change, and it'll mess with their heads. They'll start wondering, why do they seem so happy? Who are they spending time with? Are they seeing someone new? But guess what? You're not going to give them any answers. No oversharing, no explanations, just pure, undeniable growth. The curiosity will eat away at them, but by the time they figure it out, you'll already be miles ahead, living your best life. Say it with me. I glow up for me. This is your new mantra. Every time you feel the urge to post, just to seek validation or attention, remind yourself, I glow up for me. The best kind of glow up isn't the one that others see coming. It's the one that completely takes them by surprise. And when they finally notice, it won't even matter. You'll be shining so brightly that they won't know what hit them. So get to work. Build the life you deserve. Pour into yourself like never before. Glow up, move in silence, and let them wonder. Because the real power isn't in being noticed. It's in knowing that you never needed their attention in the first place. Now let's dive into number 7. Say no and mean it. Learning to say no, and actually meaning it, is one of the most empowering moves you can make for yourself. For far too long, you've been saying yes when you really wanted to say no. Yes to plans that drained you. Yes to people who took you for granted. Yes to requests that siphoned away your time and energy. But here's the truth. Every time you said yes when you should have said no, you told others that it was okay to put their needs before yours. Well, no more. It's time to say no. Stand by it and watch how everything in your life starts to shift. Saying no isn't selfish, it's survival. You cannot pour from an empty cup. If you keep giving pieces of yourself to everyone else, there won't be anything left for you. People will take as much as you let them, and they won't stop until you draw the line. And yes, here's the kicker. When you start saying no, some people won't like it. They'll try to guilt trip you, make you feel like you're being difficult, or even accuse you of being selfish. But here's the important part. Their reaction is not your problem. It's a reflection of their expectations, not your worth. When you say no and mean it, you're taking back control over your time, energy, and peace. You stop bending to others' whims and start living life on your terms. And here's where the true power lies. Every time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying yes to yourself. You're declaring that your time, energy, and well-being matter more than anything else. But here's the secret. Saying no is not just about the words you speak, it's about your follow-through. No explanations, no justifications, just a firm, unwavering no. If you start explaining yourself, you open the door for negotiation. They'll poke at your reasons, try to convince you to change your mind, and soon enough, you'll be back doing something you never wanted to do in the first place. So say it, and leave it at that. No, I can't make it. No, that doesn't work for me. That's it. No elaboration needed. Say it with me. I say no, and I mean it. This is your new standard. It's time to protect your peace, honor your time, and choose yourself. Because when you say no and stick to it, you're not just setting boundaries, you're reclaiming your power. And those who respect that, those are the people you want around. The others, let them go. Finally, let's talk about number 8. Stay solid, emotionally untouchable. Staying solid, emotionally untouchable is the ultimate power move. When you stop letting others manipulate your emotions, whether it's through their words, their actions, or their silence, you take full control of your peace. Emotional independence means no one else gets to decide how you feel. They can't push your buttons, they can't play with your mind, and they definitely can't drag you into their chaos. When you reach that point of emotional untouchability, people can feel it, and it drives them absolutely crazy. Why? Because nothing frustrates people more than someone who refuses to react. Here's the truth. When people know they can control your emotions, they'll keep testing you. They'll push your buttons, ignore you, breadcrumb you, anything to get a rise out of you. But the moment you stop reacting, the game changes. You take away their power, and they realize they never really had control over you in the first place. And once they realize they can't manipulate you emotionally, they'll have no choice but to step back, because that's the moment they lose. You regain your power, and they can do nothing but watch as you stand firm, unshaken, and completely untouchable. This is the power of emotional independence. It's the ultimate freedom. Being emotionally untouchable is not about building walls, shutting down your feelings, or pretending to be cold. It's about choosing how and when you respond. It's about having the power to stay calm when someone tries to provoke you, to walk away when someone plays mind games, and to remain unshaken by things that once sent you spiraling. Staying solid means that no one, no matter what they say or do, has the power to disturb your peace. This isn't about suppressing emotions. It's about mastering them. When that rush of frustration hits, when you're tempted to lash out, chase after answers, or explain yourself, take a pause, breathe in, breathe out, and remind yourself, I am in control. Each time you choose silence over drama, calm over chaos, and composure over impulse, you are building an unshakable foundation of emotional independence. You're showing the world that your peace is sacred, and nothing or no one can take that from you unless you allow it. And guess what? The moment you master this emotional strength, you'll start noticing a shift. The people who once tried to trigger you will be confused. They'll see you stand your ground, unwavering, and it'll mess with their minds. They'll either learn to respect your boundaries or they'll step out of your life. Either way, you win. Say it with me. I stay solid, emotionally untouchable. This isn't just a mantra, it's a way of life. It's a daily reminder that your happiness, peace, and well-being are non-negotiable. They belong to you, and only you have the power to protect them. The best part? As you cultivate this emotional independence, you begin to attract people and situations that align with your inner peace. You stop wasting energy on things that disrupt your balance, and the ones who once toyed with your emotions, they won't be able to keep up. The ones who truly get you will step forward, and you'll find yourself surrounded by the right kind of energy. And now, number 9, be the magnet, not the seeker. It's time for a powerful shift. Stop chasing, stop begging, stop proving yourself. That's not your game anymore. When you're constantly in pursuit of attention, approval, or affection, you come across as desperate, needy, and let's be honest, easy to overlook. But when you decide to become the magnet, not the seeker, everything changes. A magnet doesn't chase, it pulls. It stands firm, knowing it has the power to attract what it needs without lifting a finger. That's exactly how you should start thinking. You don't need to chase anything. You need to focus on becoming the best version of yourself. And the right people, opportunities, and energy will naturally find their way to you. When you embody this mindset, people won't be able to resist your energy. Confidence, independence, and self-assuredness are magnetic qualities, and they'll draw people toward you like nothing else. But here's the key. Becoming the magnet means you've mastered the art of letting go. You no longer chase what isn't meant for you. If someone isn't interested in you, that's okay. You'll let them go. If an opportunity slips through your fingers, you trust that something even better is coming your way. Detachment isn't about being cold or indifferent. It's about understanding that everything meant for you will find you. Your energy is too valuable to waste on chasing things that weren't meant to stay. Here's the truth. When you stop seeking external validation and create joy from within, that energy is so powerful, so magnetic, that people will feel it. You're no longer looking for someone to complete you because you're already whole. And that kind of self-assurance, it's impossible to ignore. The right people will be drawn to you naturally, not because you begged for their time or approval, but because your energy radiates a sense of self-worth that attracts everything you need. Say it with me. I attract, I don't chase. This is your new mantra. Every time you feel the urge to chase, to force something to happen, or to seek validation, remind yourself, I attract, I don't chase. This mindset will transform everything. No more running after what isn't meant for you. No more begging for attention. Instead, you'll start attracting everything you deserve simply by being your best self. Remember, being the magnet is about standing in your power. You let things flow naturally, knowing that what's for you will come to you, and what isn't will fall away. You stop seeking and you start attracting, and that is the ultimate power move. If this video resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Drop a comment below with the phrase, I attract, I don't chase. Let the world know that you're stepping into your power, leaving behind the need for validation, and becoming someone worthy of pursuit. Remember, every step we've covered today, cutting off the chase, guarding your energy, demanding more, and staying emotionally untouchable, brings you one step closer to the life you truly deserve. This journey isn't about revenge, manipulation, or petty drama. It's about reclaiming control, raising your standards, and becoming the person who naturally draws in everything they desire. No more running, no more begging for validation. You are the magnet. You are the prize, and the only approval you need is your own. Now go out there and step into your power. Live boldly and let them wonder what it's like to have lost you